Hello, my name is Crystal Petrie, and you are watching another episode of the Crystal Petrie podcast. Here on today's episode, we are learning all about social media marketing, what to do, but also what not to do. So, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, make sure you subscribe to my podcast right now. And here to educate us on all things social media marketing, we have Tracy Ramirez. So, thank you for joining us, Tracy.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I am excited to have you on. So let's hop into this podcast. My first question for you, Tracy, where in the world are you?
I am located in Texas.
Excellent. So am I. We love Texas around these parts. Now, social media marketing. I feel like, Tracy, we hear these words thrown around every day, all day, but I don't know if people truly understand what exactly is social media marketing. So, that is my question. What is social media marketing?
Social media marketing is basically promoting your business online, connecting with your audience. It can be, a lot of people feel like social media is just for a business. It's also for people with careers, whether you're a realtor, a journalist. I mean, if you're not on social media, are you really being seen? So that
Right.
is what social media is. Social media marketing, I'm sorry.
Okay. So, do you think, I'm sure you can have a business
Mhm.
without social media marketing, but is that something that you would recommend?
I definitely would not, because I do encounter a lot of businesses that struggle with being on social media. They're not connecting, or they'll have an account, but it's not active. It hasn't been active in, I don't know, 8 months, a year. They kind of abandon the page. And I know I don't only speak for myself, but when I look for a restaurant or a business, a credible business, the first thing I do is website and are they on social media? I go to their Facebook page, see reviews. I go to Instagram. I'm seeing if they have followers. Are they active? What do they post? So if you're not on social media, it's really hurting your business for sure.
And I am actively shaking my head to your answer, Tracy, because that's exactly what I do. And I feel like a lot of people, I never use absolute words, so I'm not going to say everyone, but I feel like a lot of people do the exact same thing. You know, restaurants,
Yeah.
hotels, Airbnbs, like the first thing you're doing is checking social media. And for me, if a company or a business is not on social media, that's a red flag for me.
Yes. Okay. So I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way. Because if I feel like you just abandon the page, you're not active. Like for example, in a restaurant, I'm scared to go eat your food now. I'm like, hold on, I don't know. I don't. Next business, next restaurant. Yeah,
Yes,
it
like
gives
that's a
you
red
credibility.
flag for me.
It
Yes,
gives you credibility for sure. Putting your business on social media.
it absolutely does. What would you say are some key components of an effective social media marketing strategy?
The key components would be target audience, setting your goals, deciding which platforms you're going to be using to promote your business, what type of content will you be creating, also planning and scheduling your content, engaging with, I mean, the list is long, engaging with followers and audience, analytics, and adapting your strategy to new trends for sure.
Okay, so I have several follow-up questions to that, Tracy. Number one, how does a business know who their target audience is?
I would have to say your analytics would show you based on the content that you've been producing. Facebook is really, really neat, like Meta. Once you go in there, it shows you, for example, when I look at my clients' Meta analytics, I can see who's following us, who's seeing our content, basically the demographics. Are they from, Beaumont, from Houston? Are they in their 30s? What kind of job they have? So there you start to see who's watching your stuff and also who's engaging with your stuff as well. So that's where you start to figure out who your target audience is and who your content, who's it speaking to.
Okay. And
Mhm.
what about the platform? How would a company, a business know which platform to use? It's so many of them. I mean, we
Yeah.
have Facebook, we have IG,
Oh,
Instagram, we have
overwhelming. sure.
Right. We have Twitter, also known as X. We have
YouTube.
TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. Like the newest one is Threads. So
Oh, I
like
don't mess with Threads yet. You might have to put me on. I don't mess with Threads yet. Listen,
I
let's
don't mess with Threads either.
somebody put me on because I don't know what's going on over there.
You
I'm
know,
trying to
I don't know if Threads is going to last. I really
I don't
don't
hear
know if it's going to
people
last.
talking about it. When it first came out, I seen a lot of people like Threads, and then it kind
Yes.
of died off.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's gonna stick around.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to stick around at all. It's supposed to be Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook and Meta and IG, and he owns Threads as well. So it's supposed to be like the opposite of Twitter, also known as X.
Okay.
So, not for me, but some people now say X is now kind of the evil, whatever.
Yeah.
So Threads is supposed to be the good guy, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stay
So
away from Twitter too. I'm scared of Twitter. I feel like Twitter is just a dark space. So I'm just like, I'm a positive person.
yeah.
I, I'm gonna be where I'm loved. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
But it works for some people. It does work like
It does. It
random
does.
journalists that are like, no, you got to be on Twitter. And I'm like, oh,
Right.
okay, I
Right.
understand.
Right.
It just depends on your line of work.
Okay. So how, because we got off on that tangent there, how do companies or businesses, solopreneurs know which platform to get on?
I would say it depends on your goals. For me or for any of my clients, they want if you want the community where you live at, your community to support you, your friends to support you, that will be Facebook. Facebook is that's your local audience. That's the people that you see every day at school drop off, the bakeries around town, like things like that. That's local. Now, if you want to reach a wider audience, you want to go viral, you want to get customers that are traveling to Texas, for example. Just say for my business, they want to know of a marketing business in Texas. Well, they can find me on social media through Instagram. They most likely won't find me on Facebook unless they go looking for it. But I feel like on Instagram, there's hashtags, there's people can tag me and things like that. So Instagram is definitely like a wider audience, a wider reach for sure.
When dealing with social media marketing, I feel like you should have goals. Like you're not just like posting content, pictures and video just because you want to post pictures and videos.
Yeah.
So when it comes to businesses and social media marketing, what goals should that business have to define who they are?
I believe the goal should be when you look at social media, what do you want to get from social media? Is that increasing sales, generating leads, creating brand awareness? Maybe a lot of people don't know about your business, your bakery, your restaurant, your real estate company. It just goes down to what your personal goals are for the business, and you just match it up with your social media strategy.
Okay. And
Mhm.
how often should companies, and when I'm referring to companies, I know I'm using a general term, but I'm talking small, medium, large solopreneur companies. How often should they post?
Okay, it just depends, to be very honest with you. It just depends on your line of work, the line of business. I would say just an average at least 3 to 5 times a week. I have clients that post 3 times a week, 4 times a week to not overwhelm your followers because that's real. And I have followers, I'm sorry, not followers. I have clients who post every single day. They have specials Monday through Thursday, and the weekends, it's everybody's out. They want to go out to eat. They want to see what's happening in town. So it just really depends. But I would say consistency, whether you decide to post 3 times a week or 5 times a week or every single day of the week, just be consistent. Don't post, I would say, Monday and Thursday, and then don't post until like a week later. That's not, you're not being active and you're not being consistent.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, red flag, if you haven't posted in like a month, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? You
Their
know?
food don't taste good, or I don't know, or people don't love them. They're not leaving reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's red flags for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What role, and you spoke about scheduling your content earlier, what role does content scheduling and planning play in successful social media marketing?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Yes, yes. What role does scheduling your content and planning out your content play in having a successful social media campaign? Social media marketing, excuse me, campaign.
It plays a crucial role by keeping your followers engaged, and it maintains your brand's presence on social media for sure.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
as we are talking, let's talk a little bit about you, Tracy. You have your own company and you do social media marketing. So
Yes.
tell me how you got into that business and why you decided for this career of choice.
Well, it kind of fell on my lap a little bit. I am a alumni of Lamar University. I have a communication broadcasting background, and I was doing so well on marketing myself and promoting myself that what ended up happening is I had several businesses reach out to me like, hey, do you do this? Like, do you have a business? Like, do you do this professionally, like marketing and social media marketing? And I was just like, no, I don't. And I got offers. So once that started happening, I'm like, okay, well, I found something that maybe it was God, I don't know, but it just fell on my lap. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take this a little bit serious. And what helps also is that I'm bilingual. So I just started my LLC my senior year in university and I never looked back.
Wow. So have you ever worked for a traditional company or have you always, for the most part, had your own company?
No, I started with my own company. I started with my own LLC. I never got to market for any other business or anything like that. Meaning like businesses that are marketing
Right, right.
companies, agencies. No, it was just I took a leap of faith, paid for my LLC, and like I said, I just never looked back.
Well, congratulations on that. That's amazing.
Thank you, thank you. It's
Amazing. Now,
been
are uh-huh.
Oh, I was gonna say it's definitely been a journey. It's owning a business and owning a business such unique as this, meaning like marketing and social media marketing. I definitely been learning on the job, so and getting experience and all that. And I've had my highs and my lows, and I'm still learning. And again, like I mentioned earlier, we're lifelong learners, so I am always wanting to attract different businesses so I can just learn and gain experience. So that way, I'm strong in all different types of areas for businesses.
Excellent. Excellent. Speaking of attracting customers, are you looking for new clients, new customers?
I am. I'm always open to talking to new clients and potential customers for sure. Yes.
And if my audience, my listeners want to get in contact with you to speak with you or even hire you, which is the goal, how can they do that?
They can reach me through my email. I definitely check my email 3, 4 times a day. So you can
Mhm.
definitely reach me through my email.
And what is your email?
Tracy_Ramirez1 at yahoo.com.
Okay. And that is the number one for everyone that's listening. That is the number one.
Yes.
How should businesses use analytics to improve their social media marketing and improve their social media performance?
Well, the analytics show you what content you're creating is your best content. So you can definitely use that to your advantage. In my experience, I post different types of content because you never want to bore your followers.
Mhm.
That would be graphics, ads, pictures, videos, reels. I do it all. And I always pay attention to my analytics to see what got the most engagement, what got the most comments, shares, what went viral. I see that reels are really, really good for TR media because I've definitely gotten lots of views from those. So I see that reels is kind of like my thing because
Mhm.
what I like to do also is I like to compare my business to other marketing agencies that are out here. And I will say none of them are doing what I am doing. So I found something that's working for me. The reels are working for TR media for sure. So your analytics will definitely show you where's your strengths and your weaknesses. Anything that's not working, just cut it, drop it. Just okay, just because time is money. So
Right.
we'll stop using that and we'll just pay attention to what is working.
Okay. And for anyone in my audience who may not know, can you explain to us what is a reel?
A reel is a short video. I what I think a reel is like a short commercial online, but
Okay.
you can make it yourself. Now, if you don't know how to make a reel, just honestly play with it. I didn't start off knowing how to make a reel. My strong suits were journalism, writing, graphics, ads. Reels I just started doing this year. I just started with my family, like doing when we're out and about, I'll just record 10-second videos. That's my rule of thumb. I'll do 10 to 15-second videos of different things that are happening. And then you just go on your reel option on Instagram. You have to basically learn how to edit, but
Hmm.
it's not hard. Anybody can learn it. Just as much as we all learn how to use different features on our iPhone, it is not hard. You just have to, and if you don't know anything, YouTube it. There's so
Yeah.
many transitions, or I didn't know how to put a link. I remember I didn't know how to put a link on my reel before, or anything like that, right? I'll just YouTube it and they show you everything. Anything you don't know about social media marketing, you can find it on YouTube or the internet.
Absolutely. And make sure you go to this is a shameless plug, Crystal Petrie podcast, because you can learn all about social media marketing from
Yeah,
Tracy. So
yeah.
there we have it. Okay. Okay, Tracy, what's the importance of aligning your social media strategy with your overall business goals?
What number are we on? Because I want to keep track of our
Nine.
question. Number 9, what's the importance of aligning social media strategy with overall business goals? I would have to say the importance of aligning social media strategy with business goals. It's important because it can lead to business growth.
Okay.
By building brand awareness, you're connecting with your customers, your followers, your audience. So that's what I would have to say.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And how should businesses, small, medium, large, entrepreneurs adapt their social media marketing and strategies to like PR challenges, PR crises, things like that?
I would have to say whenever you're dealing with responding to a PR crisis, because I know that everyone realized that we live in a world of viral, and there can be good viral and bad viral.
Yes.
Your strategy definitely needs to be respond quickly within 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
be compassionate, be sympathetic, acknowledge the issue, because I've seen situations where they're not addressing quick enough, they're not acknowledging quick enough, or they're just simply ignoring the comment. And that's the worst, because then again, red flag, you start side eyeing the business like, whoa, you don't care about your customers, you're not trustworthy. So that's what I would have to say, is just being open and honest while addressing concerns, especially with dealing with PR crisis
Okay.
events.
How can businesses balance promotional content, meaning, making commercials about the business and what they're doing, what services they're offering, with value driven content?
I would have to say, I think I mentioned earlier, just create a mix of informative and engaging posts.
Mhm.
It would have to be like valuable posts where it's educational posts. You're teaching your audience about whatever services you offer, but then you don't want to overwhelm them with that type of content, because then you lose engagement or they'll unfollow. So you definitely want to post other encouraging posts, more engaging posts, things you're doing in the community. That will always be number one. Any business, it doesn't matter what business it is, always post something that you're doing in the community, because that always it makes you relatable. It shows that you care about your community, you support your community, and guess what, your customers are going to want to support you back.
Absolutely. How important is storytelling when it comes to social media marketing?
Storytelling is very important because it basically, for example, TR Media, if I just explained to you that I started at university, and I know that's kind of hard being in school and starting a business. Storytelling, it shows that I'm vulnerable. I can be vulnerable, relatable, and you connect. That it shows that you can connect with your audience and your followers. So storytelling is extremely important, because that shows that you can build a relationship with your potential customers.
And I also feel that storytelling humanizes you.
Yes,
Like
it definitely
it
does.
humanizes the business, it humanizes the owner. If you say something that um like for example, you went to Lamar University, I went to Lamar University. So if
Okay.
you would put that into a story, that would connect us and that would humanize
Yeah.
you, like, oh yeah, I
It
went there
makes
as
you
well.
relatable. Yeah, it makes you relatable for sure. Like, oh, okay, well, she's human. Because I
Yes.
feel like a lot of especially in social media, we see these people and it's like, I can't relate. I don't know them. But once you know their story, you're just like, wow, like, okay, that they're actually relatable. Like, I like their story and I should support them, So
Yes, yes, absolutely. What are some benefits of user generated content and how can businesses gain from that? Now, before you answer that, also explain, because I never want to think that my audience knows everything.
yeah.
What is user generated content? And
Okay.
then answer the question: how can businesses, excuse me, benefit from that?
Okay, so user generated content is basically, I'll give an example.
Okay.
I years back bought a full outfit from Express and Express in the mall. I don't know if you're familiar with Express. So I took a photo and I tagged Express. Well, Express sent me a DM because whenever brands use user generated content, they definitely have to ask permission to repost what you
Mhm.
posted. So they asked permission if they could post me on their social media. Mind you, Express has, I don't know, the last time I checked, they have thousands, probably millions. They have a
Yes.
huge following. I mean, if you look at New York Times Square, they have billboards. Okay,
Right.
so they posted my photo. They asked me first, but they did post my photo on their website and their
Hmm.
Instagram page. So that is user generated content, meaning I use their brand of clothing and I posted it and they reposted my content. So that is and I think we all do that nowadays. If you go to a local cafe and you're just like, oh my God, my coffee is amazing, and you tag,
Hmm.
for example, Doxy Coffee, that's user generated content because guess what Doxy Coffee is going to do? If they didn't have a chance to grab content that day, they're like, oh, look, we got a bunch of people that tagged us. Repost, 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 repost. Look at that. A win win.
Win-win.
Yes.
Girl, what was this outfit that you got from Express?
It was during the fall, and I'm a blazer girl and I'm a fall girly. So it was a faux leather jacket, and I don't know if you
Uh-huh.
own faux leather jackets, but I don't know, they just make you feel like just put together. So and I had my shades. Listen, it was a whole look. So they saw it and they were like, "Can we pose?" I was like, "Yes, you can." And they,
Yes.
yeah, that was
Come
really,
through with
really,
the whole vibe.
yes, yes, that was really, really fun. And I was excited. I just reposted like, "Oh my God, Express just
Yes.
posted me." So yeah,
Yes.
and I know another company that does that as well, that I see that they do genuinely post a lot of user generated content, is Target. I
Oh,
need to
okay.
Now thinking of that, I need to get a Target outfit together and be like, Target, that way they can
Exactly.
repost me. Yes, yes, because I see that a
Exactly.
lot. They definitely use a lot of user generated content for sure.
Okay.
The second part of your question, you
Mhm.
said how can businesses benefit from it?
Yes.
So basically, if it gives more authenticity to a customer posting than the brand, because a brand can talk about themselves all day, like we're great, we're great, we're great, better than our competition. But if you see an actual customer that purchased the product with their own money and they are talking about how much they love it, then it makes you want. I can't tell you how many times I've seen user generated content. I'm like, that looks good. I'm going to buy that jacket, that brush for my curly hair. That looks amazing. I'm going to buy it. So it
Yes.
definitely helps these brands. It gives them a lot of push. You can say basically modern word of mouth. It is definitely modern word of mouth advertising for sure. And they are taking
Wow.
advantage of it.
That's a great way to put that. I've never heard of it phrased that way, but you are right. That is a modern
Yeah.
word of mouth. And we
Yeah.
all know, or at least at this point in time, we should, that word of mouth is the best advertising. It's the best
Yes. It definitely,
advertising, word of mouth.
because you trust the person more. You trust the
Yes.
person more that's telling you where they got it from, where they bought it. And you're like, really? Well, let me try it, instead of the brand just ads
Exactly.
down your timeline.
Right. Because you don't know if they're telling the truth or not. I mean, they're trying to make a buck.
Well, they're trying to make money, yeah, and they have.
Yeah.
I don't think they would talk bad about themselves, so they're always
Exactly.
like, "We're great, we're great." So, and
Yeah.
with generated content, I also see on the other side where they're like, it wasn't that good. For example, if you look at Target with all the reviews and pictures and videos, and the makeup didn't sit right; it was too dry. So you definitely trust the word of the consumer more than you do the brand. To wrap up that.
Yes. Yes, yes. I'm a pivot here, then I'm gonna get back to my questions, Tracy. But Miel, are you familiar with their hair
I
product?
use it. Yes, ma'am. I use
Yeah.
it in my hair.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, maybe I shouldn't say what I'm gonna say. Have
Right,
you have you seen it's been all over, I know especially IG, that women that are using their products like patches of their hair are falling out?
okay, that happened with only, oh my God, I don't want to know, because what if this goes viral? Well, one of their products is
Yeah.
known. I will say that, and I'll make you go do the research on that.
Right. Go
Uh,
do the research.
go do
Always
your
go do the
research.
research.
Here. I didn't say what product it was, but there is one product that did kind of go viral. I seen it on TikTok, and I also
Yes.
seen reviews on Target's website, that
Right.
a lot of women are complaining that that it does produce hair fallout, balding, and stuff like that, which
Mhm.
is so not good to
Yes,
say.
and it's one particular product. It's not all of
Yes,
their products. So
no,
please go and
no, 'cause I
research
don't
it
use that product.
and yeah,
I
please
don't
go
use
and
that
research it.
product.
And we're not saying that it's true or that it's false. We are talking about social media marketing.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought it up is because Mael hasn't responded yet. At least
No.
I haven't seen. I
Yeah,
have
me
not
neither.
seen
Now that you're
that
like
they
bringing
have
it up,
responded.
yeah, I know they definitely should respond to customers' concerns, because now that it's kind of picking up heat, you know what I mean? And it's like getting viral a little bit, and now it's kind of known.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
not good. Who's their PR person? Call me.
Exactly. Call
I will
Tracy.
hope you I will hope you make a response and make the
Yes.
customers happy, because definitely if you start to get that not a trend, right, but you start people start talking about that, then guess what, they might just get off the brand, and that's
Right.
hurting the brand, that's hurting sales. So they definitely want to respond to that, or see what they can do to address those concerns, for sure.
Hmm. And I was thinking about it when we were talking about, managing your social media marketing, your social media strategy during a like PR
Crisis.
crisis or a challenge or something. This would
Yes,
be, I
that's
would
a
consider
perfect
it
example.
right. I would consider it
You're
a
so
challenge or
right.
a crisis.
I have not heard them address it, which is crazy, because I've seen it in the comments, I've seen it in
Yes.
the reviews, and honestly, oh, it's so ugly. But I did use the product, and I did notice a little bit. So I was like, no, no, no. I immediately stopped. That's why
Yeah.
as a consumer, I saw it. I went to the reviews. I'm like, oh, snaps, it's not just me. Then I
Hmm.
see it on TikTok. I'm like, oh no, no, we're not using
Right.
that product. It's over.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So even with that, the user generated content, I mean, even though I feel like this is a negative thing on it's a hair brand company.
Yeah.
It's a negative thing for the hair brand company. It's also the opportunity to go back and say, okay, we messed up here. This is how we're fixing that.
Yeah. Or like just put out a statement. I would say we've
Yes.
seen I don't know if they want to call it viral or anything, but we've seen our customers' concerns, right?
Mhm.
That this certain product is producing hair fallout, the patches, etc.
Yes.
We are looking into, our ingredients more. We're with the creative team. You got to make your customers feel comfortable that you're at least trying to fix the issue. I
Right.
would just release a statement and actually back up your statement and go do something about it and see why this is happening. Because again,
Yes.
it is hurting the brand.
Yes.
People be put off by the whole Mael brand. So yeah,
Right, right. And again, we're talking about social media marketing here, and that's just a perfect example. But again, go do
perfect.
your research,
Do
find
your
out for
research.
yourself.
Yes. If you need to know anything, TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't use TikTok, but if I need to know anything, I'm going to TikTok.
TikTok.
Yes, TikTok will
Which
be
brings me to my next question. That brings me to my next question. How can companies maintain their brand voice across the different platforms, across TikTok and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube? How do you maintain your brand voice? And explain to us, what is brand voice?
your brand voice is basically your style, the brand style, the language that you use, and to keep it consistent across all social media platforms, the many that there are, I would
Mhm.
say it just all depends on how you're going about your social media marketing. Do you have a in-house person that knows the values of your company, that knows the style, the tone of voice, what type of content we're going to be producing, or are you going to hire a professional? So it just all depends on your situation. It is very important to keep the same consistent style and tone throughout all of the social media platforms you
Right.
decide to be on. But like I said, it just all depends on if you have an in-house marketing person or you're hiring a professional to do so. Either way, those people that are helping you need to know what is your brand's voice. They need to understand it. That way they can keep it consistent across all platforms.
And what about hashtags? Explain to us, what are hashtags? Are they relevant? Are they useful? How
Yeah.
do we use hashtags?
So I see a lot of people use hashtags on Facebook. I don't think Facebook is the place for hashtags. I will say TikTok is the place for hashtags, and also Instagram. Instagram is like the main place where I see hashtags, and it's very, very important if you're going to be putting content that you want a lot of views and you want to reach a wider audience. You can become discoverable through your hashtags. For example, if I was doing, I don't know, a concert in Austin, right? And I'm at this concert, that concert is gonna be like, oh hey, use this hashtag. Once I see that, I'm gonna use that hashtag and promote
Yes.
all my content and use and make sure I use that hashtag. Because guess what? Everybody that's everybody that's gone to the concert and people that have not, like, how was the concert, they're gonna click on that hashtag and all this content is about to show up down in the explore page of that hashtag. So it's definitely important if you want to reach a wider audience, you want more views, you want more people to see your content. That's how people can find your content, is through hashtags.
Okay. And what about subtitles or captioning? And I don't know why, but I guess this last year I've really started using subtitles and
Yeah.
captioning. Like when I'm watching a show on Netflix
Mhm.
or Hulu or whatever, like my captioning, my subtitles are always on, even though I'm
I'm
listening.
hearing it, but I
Yes,
need to
but
see it.
it's
Yeah.
always on. And same thing on YouTube, like the captionings are always on. So
Yeah.
explain to us, what are the benefits of the captionings and why all of a sudden are they like blowing up like they
Mhm.
are?
Yeah. Well, I think what it is that we're in the digital age where, and I know I'm not the only person because that's why the subtitles exist. We're just scrolling. We're scrolling because we're just trying to find what's interesting. And since reels are so dominant on Instagram for sure and TikTok, you're just scrolling. So they can put
Mhm.
this long caption about what this video is about. I can guarantee you nobody's reading it. Okay. Nobody's reading the caption because we're just scroll. But guess what? You're scrolling and you see like 10 seconds of the video and you see the subtitles about what they're talking about. And you can decide, okay, this seems interesting. Sound on. I want to hear what this conversation is about, what this influencer is trying to sell me, or etc. But it is very, very important for the subtitles. I think, like I said, the reason why it's booming and it's a thing right now is because we're in this fast digital age where we're just like scroll. And for you to get the viewers' attention, you
Mhm.
use subtitles. Then you're like, oh, wait, you start reading because you're going to read the first 10 seconds. You look into it, and sometimes you might like the video. You're like, okay, comment, okay, share. So that's how you grab your viewers' attention, is through subtitles and captions. But again,
Okay.
another mistake that I see is a long caption. I'm not reading that. I'm not
Um,
reading that. And if you do,
who
I'm not
has
reading that.
time?
Not me. But I will say, if you are going to be captioning, put all your important information in that first two sentences. That way,
Okay.
if they even get a glimpse of that caption, they'll see what this video is about, important information that you want them to know. It'll be that in that first two sentences or three sentences. Yeah. So that would be my advice on that.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about some of the don'ts. We've talked and you've explained excellently about the do's, what to do when it comes to social media marketing. What
Mhm.
are some things that we should not do as far as using the memes and the trends and the viral videos and things? What are some things we should not do?
I would have to say, please use humor wisely.
Ooh.
Make sure whatever meme or trend that you're trying to get on, that is not just you, for example, the social media marketing person, me.
Hmm.
And I would have to like go to my client, meet with the creative team, meet with several partners or whoever is important in the company to make sure that this passes like a checklist of people. That way it's not just the fault of one person. If there's backlash or anything, it went through the hierarchy. It went through several people. And maybe what I think is funny and what Crystal think is funny, our, the other person on our creative team, they will be like, well, this could be taken the wrong way. So once you have it, passing through so many checkpoints and getting, several people involved, because I feel like that's just such a sensitive area, being on
Hmm.
memes and trends, and because it can really go left. It could really go left and it can actually hurt the brand. And then you go viral for looking silly or
Yes.
or embarrassing or controversy, right?
Hmm.
So that's definitely what I would say about that.
Are there any topics that businesses should just absolutely stay away from? Like, for example, and I'm not saying these are topics, I'm just giving the examples. Do not post religion, do not post race. I mean,
Mm.
do not post politics. Are there
That's
certain
number one
areas?
for me, politics.
Okay.
Because it can get real ugly. Like, I never try to steer people away from their political views. I respect people's political views and I hope they respect mine, just because what you believe is what you believe in. We're not going to change each other's minds. But
Right.
as far as social media, I feel like don't try to, because I feel like social media is a fun space and it's a space to connect with your followers, with new customers. Just try not to bring that negative energy, because politics is the number one thing that's just going to have people just going at it if you're if
Mhm.
you're putting posts about that. I think that would have to be my number one, just politics. I see a few of that happening, but not too much. But I do see backlash every time it does, because they start tearing each other in the comments. And then now your social media platform has become a space of just negativity. And that's kind of a turn off for customers.
Right, right. Okay, how does businesses foster authentic engagement with their social media marketing? And the reason I'm asking that is because I don't know if people know or not,
Mhm.
companies and influencers, sometimes they will pay
Yeah.
for engagement, they will pay for followers, they will pay for likes. So, how can you grow and build authentic engagement with your social media marketing campaign?
I would have to say engaging with comments, with your customers' concerns. Be real, because I feel like a lot of social media platforms, we just see them as, oh, they just care about making money. They don't really care about us viewers or customers, potential clients. They don't care for us. So I just feel like if you're genuinely concerned and commenting back, you have a special, a dedicated person, your social media marketing person,
Mhm.
to respond to customers, address concerns, help them, give them valuable information, educate them. I feel like that's where you build that relationship. It's all about building trust and relationship. And that's how I feel like you get that authentic engagement.
Is there ever a time when responding that you should not respond to comments, or even viral things that you just leave it alone and let it go. I'm not going to respond to this comment. I'm not going to engage with the negativity. I'm just going to leave it. Is that ever a time to do that?
I feel like you should respond to every comment, even if it is negative. Now, if it's there is a fine line. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if it's so negative that you, no matter what you say, no matter how professional you're being, no matter how helpful you're being, if you cannot help this customer, that's when you go to plan B, which is removing the comment. Because at this point, you're not wanting help, you're not wanting to interact genuinely with us. You're wanting attention at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say always respond, because you never want to not respond. And that's when people are just like, oh, you see, they don't care about us and XYZ. But again, there is a fine line when it's such a negative comment that they're not backing down. That's when you have to kind of start removing those comments.
Right. And there, I mean, you can go in, and I think you can do it, and you can correct me, Tracy. I think you can do it on across all the platforms where, if it gets to that point, you can go in and block that person or even delete that comment. Like if it
Yeah,
like
yeah,
crosses that line, like, this is unacceptable. I've done and I've tried everything I
try
can,
to help
you
you.
know. Yeah.
Well, I know that Instagram, I'm assuming they still have this. I think they do. They have this feature where you can't comment. They ban certain words. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I remember I was joking with a friend, because she's my friend, and I commented and I said something, and one of the words was banned, and it was just like, you can't say, and she's my friend, we joke, so she would
Right.
understand the joke, but
Right.
Instagram was just like, no, 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 these are one of our banned words. So it didn't even allow me to comment. And I was just like, what?
Wow.
You got banned words? I was like, okay, okay. And I had to say something a little bit more professional.
Something a little more demure.
Yeah, a little more classy. So I was just like, okay, okay, because that's my girlfriend. She
Yeah.
knows where I'm coming from. We're
Right.
close.
Yeah.
Instagram does not know that. Instagram does not know if it's your mom, your sister, your best friend. They're just like, look, across all boards, we do not accept certain words. So yeah,
I
I know that
appreciate that.
yeah. Because,
Yeah.
I'm assuming they also ban hateful words too,
Mm-hmm.
talking about people's appearance and stuff
Right.
like that. Because I remember I did a not really off topic, but I did a social media, how it's changed in the digital age, and how you can't really, there's a lot of bullying going on
Yes.
social media. I did this research for social media, and it basically, in that research, it showed that social media is messing with a lot of people's mental health. So
Yes.
it was a really, really big project for university, but I definitely learned how Instagram is changing certain features to where that does not happen. They want to have a creative space, and they want
Mm-hmm.
it to be a positive space where everyone can be comfortable, can grow, whether you have a following because you're an influencer or you have a business that you're promoting. It needs to be positive on this platform. And I love that Instagram took that
I do
initiative.
too. I
Yes.
love that. I love that. And I've
Twitter
also
needs to
saw,
do
huh?
that. Twitter. Twitter needs to do that, because Twitter is so ugly. That's why I don't with Twitter, because I'm just like, you can say anything on there. You can say anything. You can post anything. I'm like, no, 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 no.
Yes.
It's just
Twitter,
for my
also known as X, definitely needs to do something about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if Elon Musk, if you happen to watch this podcast, please do something about that.
Yes, sir. We want to be on social media and it be a active and safe space.
Yes, a safe space because so many people spend so much time on social media.
Yeah.
Whether you're scrolling or learning something or trying to find out something or reading reviews, like, it really kind of all goes back to social media.
People are on social media more than they are on TV. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm watching TV. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes. It's the
It's
truth.
the
It's the
new,
truth.
it's the new TV.
Absolutely. Now, you spoke a little bit about influencers in your last comment. Should businesses try to partner with influencers? I feel like, at this point, like influencers they're everywhere. They're, in for people who don't know, influencers are like influencing you to buy something or try a product or try a service. That's why they're called influencers. And they or supposedly they have like pull,
Yeah,
pull
because
with
of their
that.
followers. Yes, yes.
Right.
Brands do reach out to
So
certain influencers for the
should
followers.
companies reach out to influencers? Should that be a goal to partner with them?
I think it should be in your strategy, yes, in your social
Okay.
media strategy but it also depends on your goal, like, and the line of work that you're in, your business. What do you have? So yes, I definitely feel like that is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard, I will say that, to reach
Mm-hmm.
certain influencers. I would have to say, if you are looking to collaborate with an influencer, reach, for the most part, you can see their email on their Instagram bio. If they're on YouTube, you definitely can see it in the you will always see their email. Now, will you get a response? That's a different question, because I don't know if they are a one woman show or one man show using, managing their, and if they are, that
Right.
means they don't have time to respond to every single, request. But for the most part, I think influencers have like a managing person that manages that type of stuff. And I would not discourage it. I would say do it. It's just try to find people that seem genuine, that are not up there, because there's like a levels, the
Yes.
influencers that you can reach, the influencers that, it depends on how the price,
Mm-hmm.
or the product, there's interest there. And then there's the influencers that is like they're way up there, cost is high, and they are very selective of who they collaborate with.
Right, right,
Yes.
right.
So
When
I
it
would say,
comes to likes and followers, that's kind of the thing now. Should people prioritize how many followers I have, how many likes I got on this?
yes,
Okay.
followers matter, likes matter. Now, the thing about it is it can be discouraging. I have seen several of my clients. I've had clients who had 100 followers, and I have clients that have 7,000 followers for Facebook, which is good. And it can be discouraging when you're like posting all this content and you're like, no one's liking it, no one's commenting, no one's sharing. My advice on that would be, don't give up until, not don't give up, meaning like don't give up. Give yourself a year of dedicating to social media and see what your results are at the end of that year. If you didn't get no likes, no shares, no comments, that means you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did, because analytics will show you, if you did do something right, then you need to find out what type of, it just all depends what route you can take. You just need to see what is your best viewed content, why the people shared it. And then that's when you start changing your strategy a little bit. Like, maybe some of your ads just got no likes, and you're like, okay, so the people are not liking the ads. Your analytics will tell you what your customers and your clients, what they feel about your content. It will tell you all of that. So I would say dedicate a year to social media, and then you make your decision based on the analytics.
And what about businesses that appear spammy? Or they,
I
what are
know.
we doing with this? What shouldn't people do in their businesses and in their companies to make sure they do not appear spammy?
Again, the mix of content. Because if you're just putting ad after ad after ad after ad and being pitching like sales, and just being pushy, you're gonna overwhelm your following, right? And they're gonna be like, this page is just not for me.
Mhm.
Unlike, unfollow. So I would say, just always, that's the goal for every business across the board. Always have a mix of content. Have some fun content in there. Have some educational content in there. Have
Mhm.
some community events. We're out in the community. Look at us. Look,
Right.
we was at the school today with the kids. Like, just, and then, also your ads and different things that you're promoting for your business. You want to have a good mix of content for your feed. That way your followers are always engaged. They're like, oh, okay, they're always in the community, they always
Yeah.
got sales, they're always teaching me something I didn't even know. Like, yeah, so that's the advice I would give.
And what about tagging? What are the do's? Like, what should we do
Yeah.
when tagging? And what should we not do when tagging other people and other companies?
So when tagging, you want to make sure, if you tag a company or an influencer, you have to make sure you collaborated with them. Like, don't, because I've seen that happen too, where I don't know, some people will tag a business that they have no business tagging just to get the views. Don't do that.
Yes.
Because one, that's disrespectful. You're trying to get the views by tagging me. We never even spoke, or you just said hi to me at some event, but you're using my like, don't do that. That's a big no-no. Always, when you're collaborating with someone, always ask if it's okay to tag them. That's like my number one thing when I'm making content. I'm like, hey, how are you? And I'll do the content. I'm like, are you okay with me tagging your business? Because you were here, we spoke. Yes, yeah. For the most part, I've always gotten yes, that I can tag businesses. But again, don't ever tag a business that you did not speak to or did not ask permission, or that y'all didn't even collaborate. So that's the rule of thumb there.
And what about paid advertising versus organic advertising? How does a company know when to pay or boost a post
Yeah.
and when to just let it organically do whatever it's going to do?
Well, organically, I believe when you boost a post on Facebook, it boosts your post within your following that you already have.
Okay.
And then the ad, you have a wider budget, and you also have a wider reach. You can reach more people that way. So it all goes back to your goals. What are your goals? Are you trying to get website traffic? Are you trying to generate leads? Are you trying to grow your following? It all depends what your goals are.
Okay. We got about 9 more minutes here, Trace. I feel like this time has flown
Oh, it
by.
flew by. Oh my
It's
gosh.
flown by. So you're the professional here. You're professional social media marketing. You have your own company. What, in your opinion, should companies absolutely do when setting up or growing their social media marketing, and what should companies absolutely not do?
What you should do is be on social media, number one. Number two would have to be, I don't know if you need to hire a professional, if there's a marketing budget for that, because that's important. You can hire a professional, or if you do decide to take it on yourself, start posting, post consistently, find a schedule, I don't know, just say you want to start off slow. Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, post. Regardless of what's going on, post. Be consistent, be active. It shows your following, and then you'll get followers that way. Because guess what? You're posting, and a follower will share your post, and guess what, to their friends, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that this business exists, or they're having these promotions. Well, let me follow. The people think that posting does not like generate leads or increase your follow. It does. It's just there's a strategy to it, and there's also, it takes time. Some
Right.
people want the followers to grow overnight. I want 1,000 followers in a month. It's like, that's not realistic. It definitely is a process. So I would have to say that those are do's. Please be on social media. Figure out how you're going to do your social media marketing, whether it's a professional or you're doing it yourself. Be consistent. Things to not do is over spam, like you mentioned, being spammy and just throwing ads. Like, you will lose your following because of that. Another one is make sure you have a mix of content, with what I mentioned earlier, which is educational, fun, engaging posts, contests, giveaways. Like, you just want to kind of keep your following engaged. And another don't would probably be, don't abandon your page. We
Yeah.
mentioned it earlier. Like, you post, and then, because I feel like what I see a lot is a lot of business owners will give up. They'll see in 3 months, there's nothing happening. Well, it's only 3 months. Number
Yeah.
one, it takes 6 months to a year to even see any kind of engagement or any kind of following or anything happening. They just give up, and they're like, oh, well, just leave the page there, and just nothing happens. That is hurting your business, because guess what? We're in the digital age that everybody goes to social media to see what this restaurant is about, to see what this
Yes.
realtor is about, to see whatever business it may be, right? We're going to go to social media because they talk. Like I
Right.
told you, if I need to know something, I'm going to TikTok, or I'm going to the reviews on the website, or I'm going to
Yes.
YouTube where they're reviewing it. I'm going to go find it. And I'm not the only person thinks that way.
Right, right. What are some common mistakes that you see businesses make, whether that's on IG or TikTok or Facebook or whatever? Just some common, simple mistakes that you're like, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have put that there.
Bad quality photos or
Uh,
just bad quality anything, video. I don't, just bad, bad, bad. Like, there's times I want to message them and be like, hey, shameless plug, I am receiving clients right now. I can help you. Um, Posting on social media, I made that comparison not too long. I was on another podcast, and I told them social media to me is like a magazine. When you go to a magazine, do you see any bad shots in there? Do you see anything that looks distasteful or just bad quality, blurry? Like, no, you see everything looks perfect. And I'm
mm-hmm.
not saying you need to be perfect, but just try to be at least close to perfection, as close
Yes.
as you can get to perfection. So I would have to say just the quality of your content. That's a very, very common mistake. I'll see people do a live and I don't see anything. It's just blur, blur,
Uh,
blur. I'm like, oh my God. And they'll post it. I see photos where it's blurry or you can't even see what's going on. I'm like, and they're like just educate yourself on what's the best content to put out there. Educate yourself on your phone. There's so much knowledge on the internet. YouTube. I even messed with some features on my phone to create better reels, to create sharper reels. So we're lifelong learners. I feel like that's kind of the thing I want to say on this podcast. Always, if you don't know something, ask somebody, ask a professional. Sometimes I don't mind giving free advice if it's a quick question. Or like I love to tell my kids, Google it.
yeah.
Because they love to ask me 1,000 questions every day. And I'm so busy and on the go. I'm just like, what did you ask me? And they're like, oh, this. I'm like, Google it. Just
Yeah.
Google it. It'll pop out somewhere on a website,
Yes.
on YouTube, on TikTok, somewhere to help you
It
out.
will. Like I will turn off something in a minute. Like when people are live and the first thing you see is like an up close of their face or their nose. And
That's
it
the
is the
worst.
worst. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
I honestly do not like lives, but I've seen that happen. And the advice for that is to, when you have a live, is to keep the phone like a little away from your face. Be ready, everybody ready, or whatever you're recording. And then you got to prep
Yes.
yourself for content creation for sure.
Yes.
So I definitely have seen the face up close and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And
Right. Like, what are
yeah,
you? I
yeah.
don't know
Trial and
what
error.
you're doing or giving away, but I'm tuning off.
I'm
I'm
turning
tuning
off because I
off.
seen underneath your nose. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
absolutely. Okay, so we are getting ready to wrap up here, Tracy. You have been doing this
Mhm.
for several years at this point. What would you say is
Yes.
your intention, your goal in the social media marketing space?
My goal is to help, because I know that there's different groups using social media. Us millennials for the most part, and what is it, Gen Z?
Yes.
Like, they all know what's going on for the most part, if not their
Mm-hmm.
research. But there's a lot of business owners that could be my parents, and they're very successful. Okay, they're very successful and have so much knowledge. I love learning from business owners who have been in business for 30 plus years without social media, because social media hasn't always been around.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to say, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. What was your question again?
What is your intention in this space? What is your
Uh-oh.
goal in the social media marketing space?
My intention. Sorry, I was going down the rabbit hole. But my intention would be to help businesses grow on social media, whether it's a big business, whether it's a mom and pop shop. I don't put anybody down to be like, oh, I'm not going to work with them, because with each client that I help, I always learn something from them, from helping them with their social media marketing campaigns. I always learn a lesson. So I just feel like it's building me up. And I really don't know what the future holds. I have big plans, really, really big plans. And I just kind of trust God with it all. And we'll see. But for the most part, I just want to help right now. I want to help and learn as much as I can. Yeah.
And my final question for you, Tracy, who do you think would make a great guest on the podcast, but you have to help me get them on?
My friend Jessica Jill, she works with the BBB, the Better Business Bureau in Beaumont, and she is the Education Foundation Director.
Okay.
So I think she would be great because she is super involved in the community, and she's a great person to have on a podcast. So I can definitely see to help get her on here.
Thank you. And that'll be so good because then we can really find out what the BBB does.
Yes, which is funny because prior to me even being a member, because we collaborate a lot, and I didn't know too much about BBB, and now that I know what they do and I've actually gotten clients from BBB. So it's definitely, they network, there's marketing going on, there's a lot of educational stuff. A lot of people don't know what BBB does, and I was one of them until I
Yes.
learned it. I'm like, wow, BBB is an investment because I do have to
Wow.
pay an annual fee, but
Yes.
I see way more than what I've invested into BBB, meaning like for the fees. So I've definitely gotten my money back 5 times. So
Wow. Because I am one of those people, I have no idea what they do.
you don't know until you meet the right person, or you
Yes.
network, or you just, another thing is network and get out of your comfort zone, especially if you're doing social media marketing or you want to create content. Man, networking is key. Be out
Yes.
in the community. So definitely, I feel like a lot of people are comfortable and are scared to be on social media, scared to use social media marketing. Man, get uncomfortable because you won't grow.
Hmm.
So definitely,
I heard someone say, this is a while ago, then I'm gonna let you go. I feel like I can talk to you forever, Tracy.
I
Uh,
know this is fun.
I heard someone say, and I have no idea who said it, but they said you need to get comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yes, 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 yes. That
Yeah.
is so true. And it's happened to me so many times where I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I just feel like that's me being comfortable, but also I'm a spiritual person. I just feel like it's that negative, little voice or just
Hmm.
negative energy. I'm just going to leave it at that. Negative energy telling me, no, you're not good enough. No, don't go on the show. You don't know what you're talking. Just the devil can be in your mind sometimes and stop
Yes.
you from growing and reaching new heights in your
Yes.
potential for sure. So I'm
Yes.
always, even when I'm uncomfortable, I know that I'm growing. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
So
Or you're supposed to do it. Like if I'm scared to do, I know I need to push
yeah,
myself to do
yeah,
this thing.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'm always getting uncomfortable. It's not fun. I will say that, y'all. It's not
At
fun. But
all.
you have to do it to reach new heights and your business to grow or your career to
Yes.
grow. Because if not, you'll just stay in the same place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Tracy, so much
So thank you
for
for having me.
being on this podcast. I have
I was
uh
nervous.
it's a flex, it's a plug for me. I have interviewed over 100 people on my
Yeah,
podcast.
awesome.
And
Congrats.
thank you. And you have told me so much information that I have never heard before. Okay? Flex. Flex.
Yay.
Absolutely.
I
You
left
are
a lasting
amazing.
I left a lasting impression then. Yay, I'm glad.
You did. You
Thank
did. So thank you
you.
so much for being on the podcast. I appreciate you.
No, thank you. Definitely a compliment to be here and an honor. I would definitely like to be back and keep in touch for sure.
Absolutely. Let's make that happen. I'm in my
Yes.
season 2. Let's make it happen for season 3 or season 4. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
And
thank
to
you.
my listeners and to my viewers, thank you so much as well for tuning in, listening, and learning. You can get Tracy's podcast on YouTube Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And remember, you always have time to listen and learn on the go.